Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is the Community Pod, and I am your host, Lester Class. Each and every episode is going to be filled with amazing stories from amazing people. You will hear the different journeys people went through, or are still going through, to be able to do what they love. From the failures to the successes and everything in between. This is a place to get to know the person behind their passion, because people only get to see the successes and not what it took to get there. If this is your first time tuning in, please subscribe and leave a review if you love the content. Now finally, I would love to welcome you to the Community Pod. What's going on, everyone? This is the Community Pod. I'm your host, Lester Class, and I got an amazing artist in the building. I got ChuckXL in the building. What's going on, man?
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, bro? So, first off, we usually start off with just like getting to know you and like where you're from. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Passaic, New Jersey. Spent a lot of time between there and with some family in Virginia.
Okay.
So Virginia Beach. So back and forth, but most of my time up north in Passaic.
Got you. So when was it that you found your passion for making music?
I think it was pretty young. I was introduced to music by my father, and just growing up in a household, he would play a lot of old records, a lot of Motown stuff. And then it started to develop, and he started to put me on to rap. So he was very chronological in the stuff that he put me on to. So, it started with the 70s, then the 80s, then, this is what happened in the 90s. Like, he put me on, like, as if I was living it.
Yeah.
So that made me really inspired by music. I really took to it. And then I just remember going over to my cousin's house one night, and his brother was recording on a Mac, and I didn't know what he was doing. I had no idea. I'd never seen anybody record anything or make music, and I was like, oh, you could do that? Like, I never seen a MacBook. Let me try to get a MacBook. That was, I was saving up my money, trying to put it together, and then, I started making music too. Like, got me a little microphone and started recording.
Nah, that's cool. And like, I wanted to ask, like, you mentioned that your dad showed you like the 70s, the 80s, 90s. Which one inspired you the most, or like was it just like a collaboration of all of
them? Early on, I would have to say it was the 70s stuff.
70s?
So I was young, man, and I just got transferred to a new school. This had to be like first grade, bro. And me, in my mind, because I'm getting shown the music, I'm thinking that this is popular music right now. So I have no idea what's going on the radio or anything like that. And I'm listening to this Motown stuff. So I get there and I'm like, okay, boom, let me make some friends. Let me do this, that, and the third. There's a talent show the week of that I transfer in. I'm like, fuck it, let me sing something. So I get up there and I'm singing My Girl by the Temptations. It's an old classic record, but it's old as hell. And, the crowd is loving it. But that's like, it's just, I've always been performative when it comes to music.
So you've always been able to put yourself out?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what advice would you give to somebody that like has difficulty doing that?
If it's something that you love, man, you just gotta go. You just gotta go with it. Like, when I get up on stage, I have stage fright. Sometimes, like a little bit, like butterflies. I think it's natural for everybody. New crowd. Even if you're familiar with the crowd, you may still get those butterflies. But it's just like, yo, what else would I be doing? Like, there's nothing else in my life that I would rather be doing. Now that I'm here in this moment, I just got to take advantage of it. Yeah. Like, I just got to go for it.
Yeah. What is that feeling like to be able to, like, say that you found something that you love doing, and it's like, I just want to, do it now. Like, this is all I want to do.
It's a gift and a curse, because at times you're like, you're super motivated. You want to do it 100%. It's like, this is everything. You want to chase after it, but there's difficulties in it. So there is no turning back, so that's kind of a hard thing to face. A lot of people have a lot of, plan Bs, like things that they can fall back on. When you truly love something, it's nothing that's going to make you fulfilled in life besides doing that. So, you have to, go with the hardships, like, and really persevere through that.
Yeah. And like, I like that you said that, like, when you love something, that plan B, there might be a plan B there for you to like go and, pursue, but like, it will never fulfill that void of what you actually love doing.
For sure.
So I love that you bring that up. So to go and talk about like yourself growing up, like, you said that you were introduced to music at a very young age. Do you ever feel like music was ever a kind of like an scapegoat where you went to music because it's what made you happy in a moment of sadness?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's music for every emotion. So what people tend to do is they either let the music drive their emotion, or they come to music as a relief from that emotion, something that can express something. Like a lot of times, I'm a very suppressed person when it comes to my emotion. I don't really express my emotions too much, but I let it all out on the music, and I really am able to express myself through that. So for me personally, I think that, yeah, that's definitely one of those outlets.
Definitely. And so what was it like, right, putting out, introducing yourself as an artist to the rest of the world?
It was hard. A lot of people, so many people do it nowadays that it's so cluttered, and you don't really know who's good from who's not. And to be honest, when I first started, I was trash. I was the worst ever. Like, I felt like I was nice, but it was a point that I had to be real with myself. I'm like, okay, what's the top? Like, I always look at who is the best out, and I always scale myself based on that. Like, is my quality up there? Is the response up there? Is it, resonating with people? Is it a high retention rate?
Yep.
Are people coming back to it and like, oh, this really, this is something that really resonates with me. Like, I could play this all over. Like, those things I like to measure. So when I really started looking at it like that, I realized like I was trash and I needed work. And I also play basketball. Okay. So everybody looked at me as a basketball player. You are that basketball playing dude or whatnot, up until, a few years ago when I graduated college. I was still playing basketball and making music. So it was just after I graduated that I was able to fully shed that prior personality as a basketball player, and people started really, okay, this is an artist. Like, he's focused on the art. Like,
And like, what is like one of your favorite things about making music?
It's just sonically, creating a different world, for people to step into. I think that that's one thing that I really pride myself on. Just when you hear it, it's unlike anything else that you're listening to in your phone, and it's really something that you could take a break from the world and just listen to it and dive into it.
Yeah. And I feel like I've interviewed a lot of artists like on this podcast, right? And a lot of them come on here and tell me that there's a mental game that plays a part where your mind can be your enemy as well as your friend at times, where you could get in your own head and think that you're not that good, or like that this isn't going to go the way that I picture it. You know what I mean? Do you feel like that's ever something that goes to your head, like sitting down as an artist?
Nah.
No?
Yeah, nah. I mean, the only thing is I have confidence in what I do because I put so much work in, man. Like, it's honestly just the work. Like, when you put that much work in, I like to look at it like basketball. When I'm in the gym and I'm working out and I'm getting reps up every day, it's no way that I'm missing these shots. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I feel like that. And with the music, even when I have a hard day, it's more so things out of my control. It's not that the music isn't great, because the music is great, and it's being listened to by people with the ear to great music. They've been around great music. They've listened to it. They've helped create it. So it's not me that's the judge of it. So it's mostly things outside of my control. So it's never a point where I'm questioning the art. Like, are we making the wrong art? I'm not. No, that doesn't happen for me. But I feel like maybe when I was a little younger and I was a little more unsure of myself and my sound, I didn't really those moments happen. But not as I've gotten older and more confident, and it doesn't happen.
No.
No.
Okay. Well, that's cool. That I feel like having that confidence can be really important, to be able to sit down and be like, all right, reassuring yourself like you're good. You know what I mean? Like, that means, because there's people that have a difficult time reassuring themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they sit down and get in their thoughts. You know what I mean? And then there's also people that can deal with their thoughts a lot better than others. For sure. And it's not because one is better than the other. It's just the fact that, like, it's the mind. Like, it's whether you can really take control of it or not. You know what I mean? Some people have a hard time. Like myself, I'm not going to lie. Like, there's times I have a hard time. Like I leave the podcast today.
I'm good. But yesterday, the 2 days ago, two people weren't able to pop in 2 days in a row. So like that for me was like, damn, like, am I doing this the right way? Like, how can I make myself better? You know what I mean? So like that's cool. But I also feel like you saying what you said. There's also people out there that are like can go through those moments and quickly be like, it's not my fault.
Yeah,
like, I'm good. We're good.
Yeah, it's all about how you analyze it. Like, if you think that you can control, like, if you can control everything or you can control certain things, it'll be hard for you to separate the two. Like, when people don't show up for shoots and stuff like that, I have a lot of creative ventures. So when people don't show up for shoots, it's nothing that I could do. You know, I'm not letting it weigh on me. I'm moving on to the next moment. I'm trying to troubleshoot. So that's really how I stay out of that. That feeling of pressure or anxiety when it comes to that.
Got you. So you mentioned that you played basketball before you began making music, like, or at least taking music seriously. Was there ever a point where like you wanted to take music seriously during that time playing basketball, even in high school? Did you play basketball in high school?
Yeah.
So playing basketball in high school, was there ever a point that you wanted to take music seriously, but it felt like basketball was like the route to go with?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All the way up until maybe my junior year of college, it felt like that.
Okay.
Definitely. There was a career path that I could have taken where, playing basketball overseas, trying to go that route. But just music just spoke to me, and it couldn't go away. So I had to choose one of the two. And, at that time, I kind of fell out of love with basketball in the sense of, do I want to wake up and do this every day as a career? Like, putting in that work, that's a different level of commitment. As opposed to music, it was just more fulfilling to me.
Yeah.
And I felt like I could help more people with the music than I could with basketball, and that's a big thing for me.
Like helping people?
Yeah.
So I do want to get into the helping people part. There's one question I have in my mind. I don't want to lose it. So, like, do you feel like basketball in some type of way has helped you be an amazing artist?
Yeah, for sure. I think just the competition of basketball and rap music is just so parallel. That's why you see a lot of the players and, the rappers hanging out with each other. Both of them can see the level of competition in each other's sport or field. So that competitive nature where I just want to go in and just be the best. Every time I'm in the booth, I want to be the best. I want to get my reps up. I want to do this, that, and the third. The repetition of it doesn't get tiring, even though some of the work is tedious. So I think that definitely helped me out, for sure.
Cool. So I'm going to ask you the question about helping people, right? I'm going to ask it, but I don't know the reason why, but like the way I'm going to say it is going to sound a little bit like asshole-like, but it's not asshole-like. But why do you want to help people?
I just feel like it's just an unwritten duty, like to the world, to pay it forward, really. And just, you have information, so you should pass it on to the next person to be able to help the next person to ease the transition. Like, life is already hard. There's new obstacles being created every day, and there's a lack of information circulation, especially in urban areas. We just not privy to a lot of things that could help us out and, alleviate some of the financial pressures or societal pressures that we're faced with. And, just being able to aid that and help that in any way, create programs that can do, that can help people out, or just be able to speak and give them financial advice or advice on starting, even a podcast or music, whatever, to make their days easier. That's just everything, just to be able to affect somebody's life in a positive way. That's really dope.
I feel like one that I got to say that's really like amazing and motivating, like for you to say that. So I want to ask, why is that so important to you?
It's just where I'm from. Like, just seeing people struggle, just seeing people struggle at an early age. And then for a few years, I was able to move to a more affluent part of Jersey, to where I saw a different lifestyle. Okay, this is easier for them. This is what they're living with. This is normal to them, as opposed to the things that are normal to us, struggling, sacrifice, the the violence, you know, all of those things, that shouldn't be normal. Like, I shouldn't be woken up to gunshots and all of these things happening. Like, that's not normal life. These people are living good over here, and it's attainable. Just they have a different level of information, and if we get that and we start to build a community, then we'll be able to have that same type of luxurious lifestyle, and that'll become normal to us.
Yeah.
You know?
So I gotta ask, with all that being said, what is your goal with music?
In music, I just want to be the best, you know, regarded as one of the best rappers ever, one of the best artists ever, put out a catalog to where you can go through a full range of emotions. You know, there's a song for everything that you're feeling. You know, somebody being able to see the steps in my story, because it just didn't start off, you know, making great music or being in a position of, you know, wealth, or, you know, I was just like everybody else. I was put in the same position. I had the same 24 hours as everybody else, and I just worked hard. You know, I want that to be a theme also, and just being able to tour and spread love around the world, man. That's important to me.
Yeah. So you're open to travel, right?
Yeah.
Which to me means that you have an open mind about a lot of things.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is to go, or at least have an open mind when doing anything in life?
That's super important, just to see all sides. Just when you're analyzing things, it just puts you at an advantage. The closed-minded people aren't able to see the full picture of things. And it's so, you know, things are so complex in life that you just really need to have an open mind to be able to capture the full picture, and just be able to really be able to assess it and go at it the right way, you know?
Wait, it looked like you were about to say something. Or
Nah, I'm good.
You're
I'm
good.
good. Yeah.
Okay. I gotta ask, from what I've heard so far, you have this sense of confidence, as well as how do I say this? Like you have this sense of confidence as well as drive to do a lot of things that you do in life. So, what is it that built you to be who you are today?
I would have to say my family. Yeah, my family, my mother and father specifically, just very focused on the things that they're doing. You know, grew up in separate households, but seeing them individually be able to push towards their goals in life, and simultaneously co-parenting and raising me at the same time, it was very inspiring. And then just outside of that, just seeing other people persevere, that inspires me. People that look like me, that are just going to heights that maybe others never thought that they could, defying the odds, you know. That's really inspiring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, but like, of course, if you'd prefer not to, then that's completely fine. But I wanted to ask, like, what is one of the lowest points in your life that that stuck in your head, or like you look at back sometimes and you're like, I never want to be back there, or at least I don't want to be back there mentally, if you have one.
Yeah, that's tough. But I think it would probably be the pandemic. The pandemic was a tough period, because I was seeing all of these things happen for other people because they were prepared. So preparation became a big thing for me moving forward. I never wanted to feel like I was unprepared. I remember I was on live with this one record label, and they was having auditions, like just having people get up there, do their talent, their popular R&B label, but they also have a few rappers that I'm fans of on their label as well, you know, and they're making very big moves. So they had me up there, and I was prepared, you know. I thought I came up there with a freestyle. It was like, okay, they feeling you in the comments. Let's get another one. Yeah. No, that second one, it did not come out. Right? Yeah. It was not coming out. I was freezing up on there, man. So I never want to be in a position where I'm unprepared and just seeing people pass me by because I didn't put the work in. So that's really something that's important to me, just not being unprepared. And then it was just a tough time because you saw so many people passing away and transitioning, and it was just tough to deal with all of that and be confined to really your crib. If you were able to go to work still, your job, and the world shifting before you, and you having no control over what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was a tough time.
I also I feel like it was a tough time. Like, I can completely agree with you. I feel like there was a lot of people that, like, because from starting this podcast, there was a lot of people that took this pandemic as a point of like, let's turn the switch on, which to me, you know what I mean? Like, when I was during the pandemic, I wasn't like thinking stuff like this, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, it was very motivating to hear from other people like how they did it through the pandemic. Like, sure. I'm going to have a guest on very soon. His name is Hassan. And during the pandemic, instead of using the stimmy checks to buy like things that he really didn't need, he was buying all his camera equipment. And now he's getting booked by everyone, like just doing, which is amazing. Like, to take that time to look at it as a positive as well. Like, yes, it's a horrible thing that happened in life where people passed away and people got sick and we were all confined to, like you said, our homes. Some people tried to turn it into a positive and did what they could with it, which is amazing too. And like, for you to do that as well, like for you to say that instead of sitting there, like, not to say that you probably had times where you sat there and was like in your head and just like, damn, like this shit sucks, like sitting here all day doing nothing. But at the same time, you took like you took the opportunity to go and pursue what you love to do, which is the music, and went on these labels. And it might have gone well the second time, but you did it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So how important is it for an artist or a creative in general to get their name out there?
Oh, it's super important. You want to build relationships, genuine relationships, people that you like, their personality, you like what they're doing, and you like what they stand for. That's really important. And just to get in front of people, as many people as possible, because you don't know where your fan base is. Like, I know Wallow, it's a popular thing. He says, you don't know where your 100,000 is, It's billions of people in the world. You don't know where those 100,000 people, those 10,000 people, those 50,000 that could really vibe with you and they really like what you're putting out, and they can be your super fans or your super supporters, and you're really helping them because you're bringing them art that really inspires them, and at the same time they're helping you create a living for yourself and continue to make that music. So you don't know where they're at, so you have to really go out there and find them. So you have to be put on that stage.
Exactly. So if you know, how far or from where are people that is the farthest from you that are listening to your music?
Probably Australia. Some people definitely in Europe, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so all over the place, man.
What is that feeling like? I haven't asked this in a while, but how is that feeling like to get support from people that you don't know?
It feels amazing because it's genuinely for the art. A lot of people that it's hard to decipher whether they're here for your fit pics or they're here for the music or they're here because they know you from third grade and they just want to see what you up to, But when somebody solely likes you for the things that you want them to like you for, your personality, your music, your storytelling, your abilities, it makes you feel good, So that's definitely something that it definitely feels amazing, having those people out there supporting that.
Yeah. So what is something that you feel like that you implemented in your life in order to be the artist that you are right now?
Sacrifice, man. You got to be willing to sacrifice everything, personal relationships, time, money, just investing in yourself and building on a craft, be able to take criticism from people, and just build on what you're trying to accomplish, So really being able to sacrifice. That discipline right there is, that's one of the hardest things to manage. What to sacrifice, when to sacrifice. Is there ever time to have fun, do these things? It's really about what you're willing to sacrifice for what you're trying to get. So sacrifice is big.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I haven't asked this in a little while, but like, what do you feel is more important, failing or succeeding, experience-wise?
Failure, definitely. Failure teaches you so much more. Success, you can have success and it be a fluke. You know, your whole thing could be a fluke. Like I know a lot of people, they put out records. You know, the first one may take off. They don't know what it feels like to not have a record take off, or to have to work a record, or to have to do things on their own. So when you building from the ground up and you failing on the way, you tripping on the steps, you know what that's like. So even if you do fall, you could build yourself back up because you know the steps. You know, so failure is definitely more important.
Definitely. Okay. So I wanted to ask, what is it that inspires you, or who?
Just everyday life, you know. My life, the lives of others, things that I'm seeing going on in the world, things that have happened in the past, you know, history, you know, from sports to politics to social economics, anything that's going on that's really to books, you know, to podcasts. Everything really inspires me. It's just the total everything that's going on in the world, you know.
Definitely. And so what I want to get back into is so you started making music right out of college, right? Or your junior year?
Yeah, a little bit before. I was making music in high school, spotty, okay. And then my junior year, that summer, going into my senior year, I really locked in, and I started working on some music.
Okay. So I wanted to ask, what was rap your genre from go? Like, did you leave and was like, I'm gonna be a rapper, or did you explore and was like, I want to know where I fit in perfectly?
So it's really a process. It's you got to try and fail, you know, or just try to build on it. So I love rap. So traditional rap, boom bap, things of that nature. That's really where I fall in. But, you know, you have to change with the times. You got to adapt to the landscape. You know your sound. You know what you will and what you won't do on a record. And you have to be comfortable with the results of that, you know, and live with those decisions. So I'm very, I like to explore, you know. I like to sing as much as I can, you know, as much as God allows me to, you know, my ability and, you know, what the engineers are able to cook up, you know, and I like to rap. So, you know, I like to fuse them both and, you know, just build on things, just trying to make things that people haven't heard before. You know?
So I wanted to ask, like, what does it take to be an individual who's pursuing something they love? Like, what I believe I asked this, though. Did I ask this? Because I believe you said sacrifices.
Variation. Yeah.
Okay. So let me flip the question. What is it like balancing your life, your everyday life, music, and anything else you got going on?
It's hard. Like I was saying before, that sacrifice is tough. It's difficult, and it's hard to explain to people that aren't doing the same. So if somebody has something in line where it's, you know, this is a job that I work, this is something that I like doing, and this is what I'm going to be pursuing for the rest of my life, this job. It's hard for them to understand that, yes, like you, I'm working a job, or however you're making income, I have a lot of time to that. I also have to create mentally. I have to create the music. I have to write the music. I have to produce it. I have to write the treatments to my videos. I have to do all of these things. I have to get everybody on board to do them, to make the production. And then I have to have time where I could kick my feet up. You know, it's not too much of that. Maybe an hour here, an hour there, you know. And then, you know, leisure activities. Like, I like to go to the gym. Fitness is important to me, you know, staying in shape. You know, it's one time that I'm able to clear out thought for most of the activity. So that's important to me, whether it's basketball or weightlifting. That's important. So it's really hard to balance that, and it gets really tough on relationships, you know. But you got to know, like, the people that are meant to be in your life, they're gonna understand. You know, the people that aren't, you know, they're not gonna understand. They're gonna take it personal, you know. So you just gotta, you know, you gotta balance it the best you can, but it's definitely difficult.
Okay. And you mentioned the leisure time, right?
Yeah.
To find things that kind of take your mind off or at least let you relax for a little bit? How important is that time to you?
Super important. I can't give that up for for anything, man. You know, at least an hour a day where I'm like reading, going to the gym, something that's just very calm and relaxing, and it doesn't put too much pressure on me, because you know, I'm thinking of ideas all the time. My brain is always cooking up something, whether it's the next song, the next video treatment, what we should do to try to, you know, bring more eyes in on the music. So that time where it's just, you know, it's silence, I'm able to just lock in on something that's, you know, outside of what I got going on creatively or work or other things that I have going on. That's just super important. You know?
So what do you think is the most important thing when making music? Like, what aspect of it?
Just the feeling, you know, sonically it has to really express an emotion. It has to feel like you're not just reading off a sheet, or you're not just playing music off a music sheet. It's really an emotion. Like, it's a spiritual encounter when you make it in music. So it has to really feel, you have to make somebody feel something, you know, really drag that emotion out of them, so that when they hear it, they don't know what it is, but I just love that song for some reason. It's just something that just speaks to me, speaks to my spirit, speaks to my soul. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this, right? I for one listen to your music. I genuinely enjoy it, and that's not me just saying it just because you're here.
Thank you, bro.
I genuinely enjoy your music. I think that your sound is a sound that I really haven't heard before in a good way. Yeah, which is refreshing. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
Of course. So I wanted to ask, how long did it take you to find your sound?
Years, man. It's going on probably 6 years now. 7. Back when I was in high school, just really working on that. And it's just trial and error, you know, trial and error till you find something that speaks to you in that moment, because you're always developing. And maybe in 5 years, I have a totally different sound, you know, but you're always growing. You know, the best artists, they always grow and they always evolve. Like, they always build on that sound. Yeah, it took me a while, but, you know, I'm working on new music, and, you know, it may sound different, or, you know, it may sound, you know, in that same breath, but it's always refreshing. It's always something that was never heard, you know.
So you mentioned early on in the podcast that your dad introduced you to like 70s, 80s, 90s music when you were a kid, right? And so I wanted to ask, right, with that influence of those different sounds, because 70s, 80s, 90s, completely different sounds for their ages. So, like, is there ever a point that you want to, like, collaborate with an artist who does one of those different genres, or like does a genre that you don't particularly do, which is rap? So if you do, what sound would you like to go for, or genre?
Man, all the time. I'm a heavy. I like the alternative space right now, the alternative R&B space right now. So definitely an artist in that breath. I also like a lot of, you know, 70s was a lot of funk music, you know. So I like a lot of that. So definitely an artist that can bring those vibes, you know. So definitely that alternative R&B space or that funk space, that's definitely something that I feel like would complement my voice well, sonically, and just bring out some emotions that I'm not able to express just with rap. You know? So
with music, right, what is an experience that you've had through music that was like your peak, where like you sat there and you were just like happy as hell?
I would have to say in college, my junior year. My junior year, late in the year, I performed at a school event. It was my first paid performance, so I was hype. I got a check, you feel me, from the college. I was hype, and you know, just people was coming up after. I was performing at a fashion show. We had a pretty dope host, pretty well known at the time, and you know, everybody was just vibing with it. People were singing along that knew the words to the songs. So like my earlier stuff that people just loved for some reason. And, you know, people's mothers was coming up to me after the joint like, yo, I just love your performance. And it was just, that was very dope because at that time I was a basketball player. So people just viewed me in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when people saw me get up there and just express myself like that, they really took to it. And just people that I didn't know just really showing me that much love, and, you know, people treating you like, you know, wow, that's crazy that you do this. And, you know, that was really special to me. So I really, that was something that really took me back and just had me cheesing. I was smiling OD hard after that one.
So what I really want to get into, I think it might be funny, like, did your basketball teammates know that have they heard you before?
Yeah.
Like, and what was their reaction on their first time hearing you sing?
Yeah.
Well, not sing, rap.
Yeah, I mean, when I met them, I was already nice. So thank God, like, I was already nice. Like, my high school teammates, they heard me through trials and tribulations, you know, so they've been there since I was trash, you know. So, but my college teammates, like, they heard me and they instantly like, oh, yo, who is that? Da da da. And they're like, oh, that's you. Like, it was always good. It was always good vibes. They like, but I wasn't that outward with it. You know, I would drop a song on SoundCloud, let it sit, couple, you know, 10,000 views or likes or whatever. You know, I let it chill. Like, that was a separate, alternate person.
Yeah.
You know. But then I started to, I'm the artist. I started to move around like the artist, and they took to it. So, yeah, they always were really fans of it, and they always supported it. So that was dope.
Got you.
Yeah.
So what are some obstacles that you feel like anybody trying to do something that they love should be ready to face?
It's kind of crazy because just as humans, we have this innate feeling of entitlement when we feel like people close to us should support us the most. But, you know, when you really look at things and analyze things like with just in totality, it's not really, you have to realize that it's not the people closest to you. They're not always your target audience. Like, just because I'm friends with somebody don't mean that we like the same things. Exactly. So when you're creating, it doesn't mean that your friends are going to like the things that you're creating. So you should be ready for that. You know, when I first started music, my friends didn't like my music. It was trash. Like, to be honest, it was trash. So, you know, some of them started to like it over time, and to the point where everybody pretty much that I'm friends with now likes my music to a certain degree. So you have to be ready for that. That's a hard thing to get over, you know, family, friends not really liking the things that you're putting out or caring for them. Like, you know, this is whatever, as much as you do, because you're very passionate about it. But you just have to, you know, see it through. Know that that's exactly what you want to be doing. That's how you want to be doing it. And that, you know, they'll come around. They'll come to support it in time, you know. So that's a hardship that you got to get over, you know.
Bro, that was literally perfect. Because, like you said, a lot of people are entitled or feel like I'm going to make something and everybody around me is going to love it. Yeah. And you have to accept the fact that when you do something like this, like you said, not everybody's gonna like what you do. Like, you might be great, not to them. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there might be you know what I mean? Like, maybe they're not a rap fan or an R&B fan, or like maybe they're just not a fan of your work. They're like, exactly. You gotta accept that and know that, like, I feel like the hardest part of starting anything that you love doing is starting it. Yeah. Because the only person that's believing you in that point is yourself. Exactly. Because everybody around you is like, let's see how long he goes with this. Yeah. Is he gonna take it serious? Is he actually gonna do it? Is he gonna pursue it? And it's up to you just to be like, I believe in myself. No one might not believe in me right now, but somebody will. If it's just one person, somebody's gonna believe in me. And then with time, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. I always tell people, if you want to do something, right, do it and give it 2-3 months. If no one fucks with it, like you get 0 followers on Instagram, you're getting no love, no comment, then quit. But I can guarantee you in 2 to 3 months, there's going to be at least one person that's gonna like your shit. Sure. There's no way that no one's gonna like it. Exactly. 2 or 3 months, there's going to be somebody that enjoys your stuff, and it's gonna show you that it's worth the time putting in. Yeah. So yeah, you literally hit it. I don't know what that phrase is. I got it back. I don't even know what it is, but you said it perfectly, bro. Because you have to believe in yourself, and you
sure.
have to understand that they are not, they don't have to like your stuff. They don't have to support. Somebody else will. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And you got to accept that. But to get right back into it, like, what is it that wakes you up every morning to do what you do?
Just the hunger of knowing where I want to be at,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I want this to be the my career path, my life path, and knowing that I have so many people to influence or to help, you know, so many people that, you know, in a close proximity that I can go out here, I can make this great music, I could get all this information and bring it back to people that really need it. You know, that's what drives me. So just really being able to get into a position where I can influence somebody positively, and just give back. Like, that's the main thing, bro. Just get into a space where I can really just affect people, like constantly, like, you know, giving out game or giving out, you know, creative budgets or just trying to make people's dreams come true and show them that the work is, with the work, everything is possible. Just trying to inspire them.
Okay, cool. So we are coming to an end, but I have 2 more questions before we head on out.
Okay.
What would you tell the younger you, or not even the younger you, but somebody at a young age that has a dream and wants to pursue it? What advice would you give them?
Definitely lock in, write down your goals, and know that it's a steady process. It's a slow grind. You know, you're not always gonna see the results that you want as soon as you want them. You know, everything takes time, and you know, the higher power, if you believe in that, they have a process. You know, they have you don't get things when you're not ready for them. I think a lot of the things that I wanted at a younger age with the music, I think that had I had got them when I wanted them, I would have been unprepared and not ready. But me going through these steps that I'm going through now, just to get to the point that I am now and to continue to grow, you know, it's just preparing me for those things. And just, you know, to persevere, man. Fight through it all, man. It's just, you know, just lock in on your goals and fight through, and reassess always reassess. You know, when you try things and you see that it's not working out, it's not getting the results that you wanted to get, just don't be afraid to fail, and always reassess, man, and go back at it.
Gotcha. Perfect. And the last question is, what do you want the world to know about ChuckXL?
Just that I care. You know, it's a lot of things going on. Everybody has their own battles that they're going through, and just that I care. And, you know, I definitely want to help out, whether it's the music. I want to make the best music, you know, the soundtrack to your life. You know, I want to help out just with my voice, just being able to say the right things, being able to be around the right people and be a sponge in the room, and just being able to share that too. And just that I care, man. Like, realistically, like what you got going on, just, you know, that's just who I am. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. So we're at the end. The camera's all yours. If there's any advice, anything you got going on, anything you want to say, now is the time to do so.
Okay, for sure. ChuckXL, man, check out my project, Nice Like This. It's out now on all platforms. Really a work of art. I got some more music coming very soon, but I want y'all to really tap in with this one. This is the intro to everything. And just some advice, some words of wisdom. You know, just stay focused on the things that you're working on. You know, cut out all the distractions. Just really lock in and stay focused. In time, it will yield the results that you're looking for. You know, so, you know, it may not look like something right now, but just know that you're taking the proper steps to get where you're trying to go. You know, so definitely stay focused, man.
Dope. All right.
Sure.
So I got to say, I appreciate you for being here. It was dope having you on. And like I said, I'll say it for him. Nice Like This is a fucking masterpiece. I fuck with it heavy, bro.
Thanks, man.
Please go check it out. It is a fire. It's an album, right? I don't want to, or
it's
EP.
It's an EP.
EP?
Yeah,
okay,
EP.
It's a fire EP. Please go check it out. I promise you won't regret it. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my outro. Like I said, I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
It means a
man.
lot, of course, bro. This is a community pod. I'm your host, Lester Class. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, put on post notifications, leave a comment, tell me about your favorite part during the podcast. If you're watching on any audio platforms, please download the prior episodes if you haven't watched any yet. Also, like, leave a review on an audio podcast. It means a lot to me. It allows my podcast to get pushed even more on Apple Podcasts or any podcast platform. So I appreciate it so much. And if you are new here, welcome to the Community Pod. And we are out. Peace.